to Forever Home channel. On this platform, we discuss all things related to Ghana and Africa. Our real estate company, Royal Consulting Solution, is the foremost location for all your land acquisition, building needs, relocation, and starting a successful business in Ghana. We also provide quality information through our consultation and webinar series. We can be reached at royalconsultingsolutions.com. Come join the trusted source for all your reliable information. Hello, everyone. Glad to have you here. Let me see who's here. Check in. We have African millennials here. Eve, thank you. Check in today. And so my goal today is to, because I know you guys, witness all the elections, and we have, and depending on where you stand, I think from an honest perspective, we can say that this election actually exposed a lot of things, a lot of things for, some people. I know, some people have lost friends over this. I think it was ugly. I don't think it was one of the best elections that we've had. And so my goal today is to just, let's, find a way to discuss this, break it down. But what I ask for is honesty, real honesty. Because if you're not, I'm gonna put you on the spot. So let's be honest with what happened and what lessons we can learn from that, and then we will take it from there. Okay, I'll post the link in about maybe 5 minutes into it, and then you can join in. So on this platform, we are not afraid of any issues to talk about, because I think that when you have a privilege to talk to people, and then if you have 5 people listening, then it's very important that you stay authentic and honest. So anyway, so for me, one of the things that I got of this election that was very, very disturbing, was basically the level of tribalism and political tribalism in this year's election. That has always been there, but I think to the level of people just ignoring stuff and just saying that, hey, we won't go to hell. And it's like, meanwhile, granted, I don't have any political party. I followed my parents' political party the same way. Like sometimes you follow the religion your parents follow. As I got older, I figured it out. NDC and MPP, they're both crooks. They're both criminals. They're not going to do anything substantive. And so I belong to none. I'm more of a policy oriented. I'm a free thinker. I don't want to ascribe to some bullshit that I see and stuff like that. I'm definitely not going to defend that, regardless of whether this person is to me. You might call a spade, and be authentic and be honest in these things. Okay, so I think with this election, the thing that obviously, depending, listen, man, I gave it to some of my friends on this, and I'm saying, you know what? Maybe we need to reconsider our friendship, because obviously the election has some issues. It had some issue. All elections are gonna have some issues. The question is to what range, what depth it is. Now, if you're saying that this election was free and square, you are a very dishonest human being, man. You know that's Ghana. You know that. You know that. I mean, if you were running it yourself, it wouldn't going to be that situation. So it's not. There's some evidence to suggest that things were not done 100%. And so, if you belong to the party in power, you would say no, forget it, or you make statement like, okay, 2012, the previous administration stole the election, and so now it's a retaliation. But is that a country we want? Okay, is that a country we want? In which we said somebody has committed a crime, so it's okay if we come in power and I do and do the same thing. And so that is where we have to decide, what we want. But one of the things too that I also find out was um to the level of dishonesty in the Ghanaian diasporans. It is unprecedented. I've never seen that. You would think we've lived outside, we've seen some things, so maybe we'll hold each other accountable. But no, it went to the same political tribalism lines, right? So the NDC will defend everything. The NPP will argue and be oppose everything. And so everybody went to their corner. But like they say, when two elephant fights, the grass suffer, right? And so for me, it got me really looking at Ghana a little bit thoroughly. Got me really looking at Ghana with a little bit questions, really big questions. Start assessing that. Listen, I'll tell you honest. I can live in the jungle. If Ghana goes where, I'm fine. It goes in the gutter, I'm fine. That's where I'm at. Either way, I'll be fine. I'll do whatever I need to do what I need to do. So personally, if they don't develop it, I don't care. They can steal all the money they want. I don't care. It will not affect me. They don't fix the road, I can bring SUV too. They don't want to do the sewage system, I'll elevate my house enough that doesn't affect me. If I go to the hospital and your relative is there, I'll pay money to get them off the list and move up, and he may die as a consequences. If you give me wrong, I have influence, I have money, I can pay police to pick you up. Is that a country we want? In which the people that have money and influence can just abuse people. That is that a country we want? And so if that's the case, fine. Some of your relatives and some of you here don't have those privileges, don't have those will. You can't really call the shots. You can't really call the shot. So the question should move from I belong to a party to what is the best interest of the country. Okay? People died, people got killed. And people said, how did somebody told me about 15 million people voted. If 100 people died, there's no problem. It's okay. I said, really? It's because your parents didn't die. And so now you're okay because you're in power. So it doesn't matter who died. Fine. Okay. I watched those videos when they were shot. I know exactly how they got killed. Okay. All the training they went to the north to do was not adequate. They didn't pose a threat. They were agitated. They didn't have no lethal means, tear gas, rubber bullets, water cannons. They didn't have none of that. They had to fight. They shot on the ground. There's ricocheted. That's how people got killed. And they were firing indiscriminate warning shots into the air. Okay, and people died because they believe that their vote matters. I know it doesn't mean squat, but they believe that. They went to the polls thinking that and when something is going wrong, which is Ghana, everything goes wrong. Okay, that's the dishonesty with our people, and some of us, everything goes wrong. Listen, I've seen bribe in courthouses. I've seen it with my own eyes, 2 occasions. I've seen everywhere, from the airport to everywhere. Ministers take them too. And so don't tell me the election was clean. Okay, you have to be one dishonest human being to say that it is not clean. The previous election, was it clean? No. No election in Ghana is clean. No election is clean. And the EC office, dirty. Scumbags, dirty. That's the politics. But you don't care because you're in power. It's fine. The next time when the people start believing that their vote doesn't matter, who they vote doesn't matter, and they stay out, and the country becomes a jungle, that's where it's heading to. Crime is going to go up. You go to Ghana, they'll target you. You'll be on a block. Oh, you have a pastor. You pray, so that'll protect you. Your pastor got bodyguards with arms. So you're gonna go there, and they're gonna come after you. And your mom will go there, something's gonna happen, they'll go in the hospital and they'll die. And you can't even think beyond that. You can't even think, you go to emergency 4 hours. You're not saying, you think it's about a party, it's not about a party. Both parties are crooks. And the Ghana media are all compromised. They are compromised. And so for us that are free thinkers, you have to look at this thing deep. Because for us, we'll do fine. I don't care. They can start a war. I'll go fight some too. I don't care. I'm gonna do what I need to do. But you telling us we should come home. Come home to what? To that? I don't think so. I don't think so. Go home to that? A place that you can, if you have my influence, you can get somebody arrested? No. I know your favorite YouTuber is going to talk about, it's not going to talk about this. Okay, so that is what I want us to think about beyond your politics, beyond, rise above that and say, listen, something was wrong here. Did I think Muhammad was going to do something wonderful? And I do? Hell no. You're not going to do anything. But if you're going to tell me that this was a fair election, no, don't say that. But the people died, I'm concerned. I'm really concerned because it was unnecessary. They didn't pose a threat. I watched the videos 20 times. They did not pose a threat. They were agitated. Of course, it's agitated, right? They didn't pose a threat. And so what I want us to think about is like, this thing doesn't affect you. It's going to affect your family members. Okay, I'll post the link in about 2 minutes. It will affect your family members. 4 more years, you still live in a shack. Change of power, you still live in a shack. Okay, there were people jubilating. It was funny. The living condition is not going to improve. You have no idea. Because what I'm beginning to notice is this. There are people in Ghana whose life is worth 10 cities. 10 cities. Their whole life, that's how much it's worth. So they like the lack of infrastructure. Free SHS, really? It only makes sense when it's coupled with competitive curriculum and jobs. Going to school to learn something useless and coming out without a job, what is the point, even if it's free? So we need to think beyond these things. And so for us that are outside, we think we've learned something that maybe we can say, listen, not just give this thing away, but look at it, extrapolate this thing and see that, man, this thing have issues. Okay, you get sick in Ghana, get on the highway, ambulance gonna pick you up, go to the hospital, see the lack of professionalism, and you say we should move our family into that situation. Is that what we want? And this has nothing to do with NDC and PP. This is these crooked politicians, both sides, doing this thing. So if you pick a side, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. It's deeper than that. So, and it's unfortunate those people died. And I call my guys. I said, listen, stay home. But I know you guys probably won't going to vote, think it's going to change anything. It's not. But stay home. Stay down. Care about you guys. Stay down. Don't get yourself killed into this thing. That free SHS, you think the politicians' kids are going over there? They're in UK, they're in US, they're in Canada, right? And so we got to think. We really got to think about these things. We really, really got to think about these things. Okay, but what I saw is so disappointing. A lot of people in the diaspora went to their corners. And then when you say it, they say, oh, then people kill them now. And some people, if the NDC doesn't, keep quiet and stuff like that, they want to start, we're going to kill them. Really? You know how to take a life? Really? You have the will and the capability to take a life. Have you done it before? Do you know what it takes to do that? Or are you going to sit behind the keyboard and talk reckless? Okay? And so, and the Ghanaian is not three reasons why you should die for a country. I see it. 1, invasion by another country. Yeah, defend it. If you die, it's what it costs. If you are fighting on the defense against authoritarian regime, it's fine. Or if you think that the regime is so corrupt, incompetent, and you have to remove them through a revolution, that's the way to die. But to die for voting election, no. Okay, I'm gonna post the link here to join in. Few rules. Um, Hopefully you can think. I don't care if you're NDC, MPP, but hopefully you can think deeper and see it and come up with something that basically we want to know what is it that Ghana wants. Where should we be? Should lessons be learned? How we move forward, and what is the best interest in Ghana? Because I'm telling you, man, what I saw was deplorable, despicable. Um, it should have never happened. Okay, post the link. So the link is here. Let me give some few shout outs. Some people joined. African Millennium is here. Senai Nuklu, thank you. Takwisha, Damon, Hannah, Jojo B, Yanko Africa is here. AV. Okay, and so I posted a link. I think the link is down there. You can come in, Hannah. You want me to drop the link? So the link is over there. So let me see. Yes, yes, and I think we have to get to be honest about these things because I mean, is I you know the from Monday to yesterday, Friday, I learned more about Ghana than 30 plus years of knowing about Ghana. I'm beginning to really, really assess and start looking at things, the people both in outside and outside and inside, to really, really start thinking. I said, listen, maybe I need to watch certain things closely. Okay. Um, and so and the thing that we don't speak up, and the challenge I'm having right now is you need some agitators. You do know that's why progress is done. But people are telling the agitators to be quiet, like the same way we were raised to be quiet. So be quiet and enjoy your abuse. Be quiet and enjoy your lack of development. Be quiet when you require accountability. And that's what we tell people. And I said, no, people should be able to speak up and have their grievances addressed. Okay. And so and I feel like this is important that we need to talk about because um either whichever way you are for, is this the best we can do? Okay, and this thing's gonna hit home for a lot of people because the country, man, got some serious issues. Okay, and some people say go to court. Okay, go to court. So, you know that. Have you gone to Ghanaian court? Hmm? It's like me tell you, go buy land, and if it's taken from you, go to court. Go to court. Anyway, we're gonna bring our first guest. So the link is over there. So post, come in, speak, keep it respectful, share your thoughts. If you think I'm wrong, we are trying to figure this thing out. We're gonna take it from there. But um, anyway, so let me add a first guest. Hi, you are muted.
Peace, Brother Tony. Thank you so much for having this topic. This is a wonderful topic. And peace to everybody in the chat.
Peace to you as well. So what do you have? What do you have? What do you have for us?
Yeah, so I agree with you. I'll be honest with you. I stopped caring about Ghana politics in probably 2000 and something because I was starting to notice that it doesn't even matter which party you vote for. Since it's a majority two-party system, it doesn't really matter because it's the same problem. You know, the corruption from 19 blah 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 JJ Rowling's time is still there. um Certain injustices are still there, and to not even speak about that too much, the thing is, I feel like a lot of Ghanaians, they vote for personality over results, right? So because Mahama, whether people like his personality or not, more people didn't like his personality, right? So that's why it was okay to talk bad about him. But with the current president right now, a lot of people like his personality. So even if the results are not being done, you can't speak about him because they love his personality. And I don't like that because, to be honest, he's a great person. He has a great personality, but I don't care about your speeches. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't care about your speeches to the UN, to this, to that. I don't care about your speeches. I care about the results. I care about, you said this is the year of roads. Is it being done properly? Because in some areas, the roads are being done good, but in other areas, there have been some complaints. So why is it that your government, not even just him, but your ministers and your government, why is it that people can't talk to them? Why is it that, okay, because he is a good president and he says good things, that we should just be satisfied with anything that they give us? That's not fair, you know? It's not fair.
But,
And Ghanaians take that too seriously, because if you even go to the market, I was watching some videos and news reports. If you go to the market, like let's say you go to Makola market, you talk to the market women and they're having these debates over the presidents, but they don't even understand the administration. It's a debate over personalities, and that is just really problematic to me.
I have a question and comment. So, because one of the things that I'm finding out, and let me know if you agree or disagree, is that um, when you are born in Ghana, you are conditioned to accept mediocrity. You are conditioned because whenever a politician is in power, depending, so the supporters of that political party who say their president is doing very well, right? So now, very well, I think that th- you can measure certain things, right? You can measure certain things. So it is not fair to compare US to Ghana, but it is fair to compare Ghana to South Korea, to Indonesia, to Malaysia, um, because in the 60s they had the same GDP around that time. So you have a benchmark, and to say a president is doing well, for me, this is what I consider doing well. So let's take like US, right? Take the basic infrastructure in the US, the basic one, and compare it to, let's say, Ghana, just basic, the lowest of lowest things here. So you are taking a developed country, but you are taking its minimums compared to a developed country. So you have a benchmark. So if the road is Momoy, right, the, the sewage system, forget about that. The hospital, don't even go there. Take your chances. Just when you're sick, just drink any leaf you can find. That would do. The school system, don't even go there. Uh, so when you do that and people say he's doing well, okay, he's doing well. Because, like I said, you accept the hospital because your life is of no value to you. It's no value to you. I will not put my dog in Kolebu. I'm telling you, my dog gets sick. I will not put my dog in Kolebu. I even think my dog's life is worth more than that. You see what I'm saying? That's why if I get sick, I'll fly out. I am not taking chances. Somebody who is getting paid $200 a month to be playing with my life. I've gone there. I see it. So I think my life is priceless. So I have no intentions of sleeping there. I'll stabilize myself. If I plan enough, if I have to fly myself 10K, 100, even 200K, if I have to fly myself out, I'm coming back. So it all comes to the matter of perspective when what is considered doing well. And the average, a majority, not even average, majority of Ghanaians will take the prompt. Try driving on motorway in the evening. If you're not careful, you're gonna hit a woman carrying a baby crossing the motorway. Okay? This thing happens all the time. And when you slow down for the pedestrian to cross the highway, which is a highway, which nobody should be crossing,
There's people back.
but they have to go across because there's no an overbridge. You see what I'm saying? But they have to cross. And when you slow down, the next car coming is trying to overtake you. But you will say the politicians are doing well because when that woman and the baby gets killed, the life ain't worth much. You see the mindset. Listen, I myself here can build an overpass myself. I can build an overpass. But and you telling me they can't do that? And people are getting hit on the highway. They're getting hit. And so, but somebody say he's doing well. They are doing well. Okay, so if they are doing well, fine. So then I've seen so many accidents on the road. Is when I watch them now, when I see the body parts and stuff like that, I don't even react. But they are doing well. They are doing well. So listen, I am not living in that condition. You are. Your family members will be subject to that, not mine. And so what I'm trying to say is this: we have conditioned to accept almost not like we don't even have any standard. It's like we don't like we can measure these things, we can measure progress. It can be measured. We don't even have any standard. The standard is better toilet for some people, give them bags and bowls for some people. I mean, the things people eating, I don't. My dog doesn't even eating that. I'm just telling. It's like they would take anything, and so the politicians knows that. Oh, these people are easy to be manipulated. Meanwhile, you have divided yourself into another camp and saying, "Damn the other side." Meanwhile, hey, 4 more years, still gonna live in a kiosk, still gonna be in a shack. You're still gonna be in the same environment. 99.9% of you will still be in the same environment. And if you change government, same thing. So how do we move forward? Uh, let me see. So you can continue.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I was just saying, like, some people, and they just look at the big city, they just look at two streets. Oh, Ghana's doing so great. But then you go outside and you see the poverty. You see that the nearest hospital is like 200 miles away from you. And people accept it as normal. So then I'm wondering, where is all this money going to that people brag that Ghana has so much money, which their GDP, I think, is, last time I checked, it was 67, it could be 70 billion, which is not that much. But even if you say it's that much, where is that money going towards? You
we
know,
know where it's going.
right.
You know, we know what is going, and and it's and I think this leaders are a reflection of the people. Ghanaians deserve. I used to think the people, the people meaning Ghanaians, both in and out, are so different than the politicians. This election opened my eyes to say, no, we deserve those people. So for me, they should steal all the money. They
Why are
should
you saying
borrow.
that?
They should build more. Oh, we want. That's what we want. That's what we want. You see what I'm saying? If I pay taxes where I live, if the road is not fixed, I can call somebody. I can go to the office and complain, and it'll get fixed. We will do. And if it doesn't fix, the person that is here is not. You think he's going to be voted in the next election? Absolutely. His own mother will vote him out because we have accepted that there's a standard that we have to meet. The Ghanaians don't want any standard. So they will vote for things. Oh, he's good looking. He speaks well. He speaks the Queen's English very well. Right? So they deserve that. They deserve that. I used to think that they were victims. No, they're not victims. They're not victims. Because if they are victims, there will be an uprising from everywhere. See, you know what we've had. They'll go some independent. They'll start voting some independent candidate. If I was voting, I was going to vote with Ekuya. People say, Tony, you're crazy. I don't see the difference. Ekuya comes in, I wouldn't see the difference whether it was Mahama or Kufado. I would not see any difference based on what I considered development. You see, everybody has his own. Some people, the hospital over there is excellent. Excellent. I said, my dog, I'm not taking my dog over there. You see what I'm saying? So, but I don't have to live there. They have to. You see what I'm saying? And that is the thing that finally I'm like, oh, this is why the politicians do what they do, because they have support. They have support. You know, I mean, go online right now. NDC, go to hell. We'll kill you. Look at that. You know, oh, you're doing more. You're doing well. Yeah, you're doing well. Listen, I mean, I'll get SUV too. I can buy SUV. I'll deal with the road. I can deal with corruption. Listen, those things are not really 99.9% of the lack of infrastructure in Ghana will not affect me personally. So I'm not even talking about me. I'm talking about majority of the people who will have to deal with these things on a daily basis when there's no ambulance. Okay, listen, if I'm in traffic, I see a police officer on a bike, I can call him, he can lead me out. I say, you know what, I need to get someplace, put your sorry on, I'll follow you. That is what a country, but is that a country you want? Is that a country we want? That if I can go to hospital, skip everybody, and people that have more critical situation, and I get there, and I think like, because either I can influence the process and skip for the pregnant lady who's there, who needed care, and I can pay and go in, and God forbid she loses her life and the baby. Is that a country you want? But some people say, yeah, it's fine. If it's fine, then it's fine. And so we need more people to join in. So these are the things I feel like we have to look beyond a party. You know, because what happens the next election? And more people get killed. What happens? Then what you are telling people is that, listen, man, you got to resort to violence. Because that's the only way you're going to get things done. You see, you are setting a precedent. And people talk behind it, they ain't going to do school, they talk. Civil War goes to Ghana, I mean. You know, I have some settle to score for people that have abused their country. And I know a favorite YouTuber can talk about it. Yeah, no. The courage, you either have it or not have it. And we can, and I'm not interested in doing a video with any politician or any president. You're crooks. I'm not interested in meeting any politician. I don't want to be in a company of thieves. But some people would love to say, you know, I know him, we ain't got around and say, oh, you're actually saying you're in a company of thieves. You see what I'm saying? And so we have to think about these things. It matters. Okay, it matters. It took the president several days to really talk about the death. If I was the leader, I'd say, listen, nobody should be dying for election. We're going to investigate what happened. And if things were not done right, we're going to bring people to justice. That's what leaders do. But you don't care because it's on the other side. They're Ghanaians too. The NDC is also Ghanaians.
Yeah, they are. People forget that.
And it's funny because the way sometimes they say, I don't care about Muhammad. I know a lot of stuff about some of these people. He would have not been any better president than Kufuor. I don't listen. For me, they're all the same. But the way sometimes the conversation we're going is coming across like Muhammad is not a Ghanaian too. They don't really say it. You see, the tribal thing is coming in there. And I say, oh, really? Is that what this is about? And people talk big. Ghana is easy to destroy. I'm telling you. Because once something starts, you have foreign interference in. You see what I'm saying? And so they don't want that. The violence people are calling for, they don't want that. They really don't want that. They really don't want that. And so when you see something like that, you can say, listen, I support this party, but do do they have to kill people? With all the options now, because I watched the video, those guys didn't have a weapon to attack, the security forces. I watched it like 10 times. Okay, so did they have to lose their life? And if you think it's okay because they are the opposition party, fine. And if that's what we want as a country, we will get there eventually. Because I know Ghanaians like to think they're smarter than what happened in Liberians, they're smarter than the situation in Nigeria and all these other countries. No, they're not. It's a thin thread. And when it gets to a point that the people think like the vote doesn't mean anything, then you're gonna have serious problem. Okay. So let me see this. But you can talk.
Yeah. No, that I was really sad when I saw that because this is a country that boasts of how progressive it is, and that's why I'm even harder, and that's why I even think more critically of Ghanaians and Ghana, because you boast that you are one of the leaders of West Africa, that you're one of the leaders of what just Africa in general, but this is how you treat other Ghanaians. You know what I mean? It's like an occult thing. It's like, okay, you have to choose one, and then if you don't, there's something wrong with you. But then if you choose one and you don't choose the other one, why didn't you choose the other one? But then you're sitting there looking like this is both the same party. It's just different names. Like this is so different from this is not what our forefathers fought for. I don't know what this is, but it's like a party that everybody's trying to be cool, you know? And I don't get it. It's like when I see the politics and everybody's so happy, but then when I see the conditions of things that haven't changed since 1960s, like have you looked at the jails? I know criminals are criminals, but at least give them dignity. How do you have 40 people, 30 people inside a cell? Like these are things that we should be thinking about. And then youth empowerment, I don't see a lot of that as well. You know,
Hmm.
I don't see youth empowerment. You just tell kids to go to school, but then you don't provide them jobs. Or
Hmm.
you don't even train them.
Hmm.
You don't even okay, fine.
But they are
You don't
doing
even
very
train
well. The
them.
politicians are doing very well. They are doing very well. So the kids don't have to have a strong curriculum. They don't have to have a job after that because the politicians are doing very well, according to majority of the people in the country. They are doing very well. The hospitals are very good. The infrastructure is very good. No land issues, no corruption. Corruption is eliminated. Not all saints. The electoral community commission is filled with saints in there, devoid of anything. So they are doing very well, right? Because if you look, you raise a good point. If you look at the condition, um, you must have some issue with your head to really even be ruling for another party, because the conditions are the same. So and that's why I said 4 more years or change of power, you're still gonna be in a kiosk. You're still gonna be on the roadside with a stench in the gutter. You see what I'm saying? But if your life, if you see your life is not worth much to you, you see what I'm saying? It's not worth much to you. You said, okay, you accept these things, right? And so my issue is, for us that are outside, we should be independent, okay? And pressure, regardless of any administration in power, we got to put pressure on them. to do something.
You
You
raise a good point.
pressure. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're NDC and NDC in power. Pressure. If you're NPP, pressure. We got to press these people. It has to be unison. But if you're saying it's my party now, and for the sake of symbolism, it's my party. So you don't care what they do because it's your party. That's the problem. Hey, Mahama and his crew will be fine. Ekufado and his boys, they'll be fine. What about you and your family? Listen, before Corona, they could fly out. Your relatives will go die at Kolebu. They will be in London, UK, getting treatment. Okay? And people can't process that. Most of our people cannot process that. Okay? Uh, let me let me post the link as well. Let me put some questions here and see if we can.
Absolutely. Don't you find it funny how every Ghanaian candidate has their own campaign song? If people wave the NDC MPP colors like their flags, they're waving.
I mean, listen, it's somebody raised a question here. Um, I'm trying to find it. Let me see. It's a question here that I'm trying to find. I think it's very important. So you can so what? Very concerned about repatriating to Ghana. Okay, there's a question. Thoughts, but it's for somebody giving dialogue today. So here's the thing. Um, and I'll say this: your decision to move to Ghana. I'll use Ghana because that's where I'm from. That's where I'm from. Your decision to move should not be based on some YouTube or social media. Okay, because everybody have their own standard. I have my standard, and if my standards are not met, I'm not moving. I already start looking at other continents too. I have my standard. I'm gonna go there twice a year, 3 times a year, whatever. But there's two things that's holding me back. There's two things that I want to see massive improvement in. I can deal with the corruption, I can deal with the road, but there's a couple of two things. And if it's not met, nope, nope. I'm not dropping the ball that low. And maybe for some people, it's you have different, sense of measurement you're using. So you are going to have to assess that for yourself. When I do consultation, I tell people 100. I say, listen, here's a challenge that you're going to be dealing with, and it's probably not going to change in 100 years. Here's are the things that you have to deal with. You have to decide. You have to decide. Um, and so, but don't watch some YouTube video and then jump overboard. Let me see. All right. So, okay. So, people join in. Other than that, I'm trying to get some questions here. Okay, let me see what I say. Yeah. The challenge, the challenge is this. The challenge is this. It will be difficult, nearly impossible, for us to build a country when there's no standard and you have majority of the people saying it's going well. You see what I'm saying? Because we have to come to conclusion that okay, this thing is not working well. Then if we all get to a point it's not working well, then we can build. But if majority of the people, and that is why I tell you this thing. The reason why when you go to Ghana, you want to elevate certain things you get resistant is that majority of people think there's nothing wrong with it. You see what I'm saying? And if there's nothing wrong with it, they will not let you fix it. And so it makes sense why the politicians don't want to do anything because there's nothing wrong because they say they do well. Just their talk alone will get 40% of the people to say, oh, he can speak well. I mean, listen, I get it. I got it now. I got it now. You see what I'm saying? And so, somebody's idea of nice is they go to the hospital, there's air conditioning. Oh, forget about everything else. You see what I'm saying? And so that will be difficult until majority, I'm thinking about 80, 75 to 80% of people say, listen, these two groups are the problem. So we're going to vote big block 4 years. This party come, we're going to pressure them. Massive pressure from everybody. They don't, we vote them out, or we start looking for independent candidate. Other than that, you will be frustrated trying to change anything because they will not let you change anything. This is real talk. And your favorite YouTubers know what I'm talking about. They would not let you watch. Let me go there and try to build overhead. You will see. Pay money in payment. Trust me. Somebody will try to eat off that. And if I say no, they'll say forget it. You see what I'm saying? They are not going to say, you know what? It's a good initiative. People are dying on this road. We will chip in this. You know what I'm saying? We will block the road certain time, and we do that. We're gonna be building from midnight to about 4 a.m. There's nobody on the road, right? We narrow the road to one lane, and we'll let people know that there's a project going on here. But you go and try and do that and see what happens. Some people be like, "Oh, you guys have been disrupting our flow." Hey, listen, you get your politician. Listen, the politicians are no different than the people. I'm telling you, they are no different. I used to think it was different. No, they're not. Majority said 4 more years. Good. They should steal more. They should steal more. They should borrow more. They should do it. I listen. I am not going to be dying on the road to Kumasi. I'm not flying. I'm going to Tamale. I'm flying. I'm not dying on that road. You go. You go. Listen, I'm gonna do what I need to do to survive by any means necessary where I find myself, and build capability to avoid all these things. Majority of people cannot do that. So we fight for people to be able to drive from Accra to Kumasi without being a death road. But if the people that live there saying, "Oh, my idea, you're doing very well," what am I gonna do? I'm okay, right? And so that is the thing. That is the thing that we need to push. We need to push.
You are very right about that. It's hard to enforce things in Ghanaian society because even if you enforce somebody, somebody will find a way out, like police officers. But then I don't even blame the police officers that much because you don't pay them properly. So then they have to do the corruption. But then with the corruption, it's like, okay, then I could pay a police officer to do anything over somebody who can't. And then you have people with evil minds who actually they take advantage of that. Oh, I just have to pay somebody to do this instead of actually following the rules. So then what's the point of having rules?
Like this question here, I don't like two parties, but I think independent candidates do better. It's not like the independent parties already come in and do this massive development. But one of the issues that I say is that okay, we can't, right? So think about this. If let's say, okay, so now MPP is in power, right? If we say massively, we're gonna vet every politician who gets out of power, how they accumulate this wealth. Okay, we're gonna have them pass a law because if you come in and all of a sudden when you leave power you're worth 20 million, this should be something we can all agree on. We're gonna vet all the president. Okay, if you're a politician, you can't have resources outside the country. Okay, because that's where they're taking the money out. And we're gonna have a neutral judiciary system, the one that you can't go there with goat and chicken and change rules. Well, you got to constrain them. Okay, you got to constrain them. But if you put out something like that, the current supporters will say, why are you trying to enforce this when the previous administration you didn't enforce these rules? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Trainers say something has gone defective with the brain. So because these politicians are backed by people, right? They're backed up by people, and their candidates and their supporters will not let you do anything. Okay, so let's see.
These are
Oh,
good questions.
let me add. Sorry for waiting, the chosen one. Sorry. What's your take?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for letting me on your show. I just want to, this is a really good topic, and I think it's really important for us to have this debate. And I applaud you for coming on to speak out like this. And I mean, my take is this: I'm a teacher and I've taught in Ghana before. And what I found was that the books, it was just a state school, the books and the curriculum was just completely and utterly inappropriate, totally inappropriate, just was not fit for purpose. I don't understand how a country can develop when its education system, the state schools is a complete mess. The wealthy people and the politicians are not taking their kids to schools in state schools in Ghana. They go abroad. A lot of them are in Europe and America, going to the top schools at the expense of the locals, at the expense of Ghanaian citizens. And there seems to be no outcry about it. Ghanaians seem to just shrug their shoulders and just be like, oh, well, that's how it is. There's nothing we can do about it. It's like they're completely disempowered and they're struggling, but yet they keep going. It's the same thing with the roads. The amount of children that are killed on the roads, yet, the roads are not built for like pedestrians. But yet you've got poor infrastructure, poor transport systems, so people have no choice but to be walking on the road and trying to, there's no sidewalk. How hard is it to build a sidewalk? And then you've got like people with money, even like the celebrities in Ghana who make millions of pounds, like the singers and footballers. I don't understand how nobody's saying, you know what, let's come together and build some roads or something, do something. If the politicians are not going to do it because they're in somebody's pocket and they're stealing money and putting the money abroad, the people with money, yeah, I'm going to say something really controversial that I find with a lot of Africans, and I'll speak for Ghana because I'm Ghanaian. I find a lot of Ghanaians with money who live in Ghana, who are living good, are quite barbaric and have no compassion for the poorer people. It's absolutely appalling and disgusting and inhumane to me that you could have mothers and kids living on the streets and nobody will blink an eye. Nobody is like saying, "Oh, you know what? Let's do some philanthropy. Let's campaign." In England, how things changed was people who did philanthropy, like Charles Dickens, wrote about these things. England had these kind of problems in the 1800s and so on. You had kids working up the chimneys. I'm sure you've read about it in Charles Dickens books and so on. But the people rose up. They wrote about it. People, Dr. Barnardo's. He came up with his Dr. Barnardo's homes for kids, and he actually, took power in his own hands and tried to make the changes. I don't see Ghanaians doing it. Ghanaians with money don't give a rat's ass. They will come to England, shop in Harrods, and so on. Just completely heartless. I don't know whether it's sociopathy. I don't know what it is. It's just completely and utterly unacceptable to me. I mean, how hard is it to build roads? How hard is it to change state school curriculums? You don't, and then, this links into this black unity thing that people are trying to go on with. Oh, let's have black unity. You cannot have black unity when Ghanaian and African leaders don't care about their own people, don't give a rat's ass about their own people, can't even build the basics like roads, the basics like education, the basics. You go into hospital in Ghana, state hospital, and they will treat you like dirt. The way they'll talk to you, people are dying on the floors. Okay, they're dying on the floors. Kids,
But the
you know
chosen one, they are doing very well, right?
how?
Well,
It's just it's
the
so
majority, the
disgusting to
politicians are
me.
doing well. 4 more
No,
years, right?
listen, it's so disgusting to me, and it's so shocking and appalling to me. And it's when you go to Ghana and you see that kind of poverty, of kids with no clothes on, no shoes, go to hospital because you've got no money, they'll treat you like dirt. It is unacceptable. And
But
we
but
cannot tolerate it. We cannot accept it. We can't. We
so
cannot. How do
here,
we move forward from this
let
sort of
me
nonsense?
let me add one more thing. Okay. So the question is, what do you think the majority of study school? Like, for example, right? Let's say um something let's say we have a situation in a highway. A woman is crossing the highway in the middle of the night with a baby, something happens, get hit, both lives are lost, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
What I will hope is universal uprising. Okay?
Hmm.
Universal uprising. But let's have some group start the uprising. You know what is going to happen? The
What?
the people in power and their minions, right? Their supporters.
Hmm. Yep.
They will say, "Oh my God, this is like the other party. They're trying to agitate." You see what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Because some people, the party thing is like a drug,
It's
right?
it's
It's a drug.
disgusting.
It
It's
has got into
disgusting.
their head
Yes.
that they can't even think outside the box, saying like
Hmm.
this: no life, no party is more important than a life.
This is it.
But if your life is only worth 10 Ghana, it doesn't matter.
It's
So so
disgusting.
so these things, and I'm telling you, these things, the people down there and up here, the mentality is not that different.
No.
Let me go there and start something, and you see how they will come at me. Oh my God, yeah, da, 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 da.
This is it. And Tony, even this, right? I had this conversation with this Ghanaian woman that lives in England, 70 years old. And I said, the sewer system needs to be sorted out, the open sewers. Okay. Because I always hear the argument, oh, we've got no money. They've got no money. How long are you going to have no money for? To fix the basics. Stop people dying and falling into open sewers. And then, when I went to Ghana years ago, there was big, massive holes like on the sidewalk, kids falling in. And what I mean, when are you going to fix that open sewers? When are you going to fix it? You've got to invest in it, but you're too busy, the leaders, stealing millions of pounds and putting it away in Western countries. And I said this to the Ghanaian woman, and she said, "Oh well, my area where I live in Medina, there's no open sewers." Do you see what I mean? Like, so you don't care about the rest of the country because your area is all right. How do we move forward as Ghanaians or Africans when you don't give a damn about each other? And it's got nothing to do with white people. We need to stop that bullshit. It's got nothing to do with white people. It starts with you. Take responsibility, fix your goddamn roads because you're stealing money, and that money you could use it for your roads. No white person's putting a gun to your head and saying, "Don't you dare fix your roads." You're stealing money for your own family members, but not the
and
country.
and
You're
and
happy to look at people starving on the streets. You're happy to look at kids dying on the road. This is this generation. The kids are the future. Do you know what I mean? They are the future.
listen. I'm gonna tell you this.
It's just sickening to me.
I,
I
I,
don't know
I
how
listen.
people
I ain't
accept
having no
it.
kid
It's
in
not
Ghana. I'm just
accept.
telling you because it's like um, and I think that I don't see this thing. Listen, I don't see this thing. The only way I see this thing is when you can get 75 to 80% of, in this case, we're talking about Ghana,
Mhm.
to come up with a basic level of understanding of what we call acceptability of development. We have to come to that because, like I said, even when you see something wrong and you try to correct it, that's what normal people do. You're going to meet resistance from a lot of people.
But Tony, the thing is, they know there's a problem. That's why a lot of them would love to run away to the West because they know there's a problem and
Yeah.
their lives are just, you can't even function in that. Listen, England is as cold as hell, but people will come here because there's basic infrastructure, basic education system fit for purpose. Okay. The kids are learning about, the environment and how to fix problems in their environment in Europe. And Ghana Africans, I can talk for Ghana, that what they're learning in state schools is not fit for purpose. So they leave and they'll come here, and what they've learned might be fit for purpose here, but it's not fit for purpose there. There is no critical thinking. There's just, you learn the thing and you regurgitate it, you vomit it out. But you're not thinking, how do I fix this problem? How are we gonna, if it's so expensive to fix the sewers, let's think of a different alternative. Let's innovate. No, you're not teaching them to do that. What about the fact that the whole country doesn't have, Wi-Fi, and yet the man who invented it, Dr. Thomas Mensah, is Ghanaian? What? I mean, what kind of nonsense is that?
Well. And it comes back to what I was saying is this: when you look at developed countries, whether Europe, North America and stuff like that, is that there's a basic level of what the society is willing to accept. Okay, that is whether you belong to the Labour Party, whether you belong to the Democrat or Republican, whatever. There's a basic understanding. Listen, this thing has to be done. In Ghana, we don't have one. Okay, we don't have one. And I used to think that the people there, the Ghanaians, in and out, wanted that, and it was the politicians that obstacle. I say from Monday to Friday, based on my analysis, I came out like that. It's a uniformity of the same mental illness. Because if they really, really want that, they will challenge it. Uniform. Not the group that is out of power. It will be a uniform thing. There will be uprising saying, you know what? We want accountability. And you're going to see NDC supporters, NPP supporters, and all the independents join together as a coalition and say, listen, this thing needs to be done.
And Tony,
But it's
the
not
other
going to
thing.
happen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the other problem is, well, what I find with Ghanaians, when there's one political party, after they leave, the other party regresses what they've done. So they undo everything, any progress that was made by one party, they undo it all. So how are you? I mean, in England, it doesn't happen like that. They'll, if they plan for the next, I don't know, 50 years, 20 years, right, we're going to build this highway in this place, we're going to build that highway, let's put the money here. Right. So whoever comes into power, they continue with that plan. But in
And
Ghana,
do you know
no.
why? Do you know why in England and
Why?
US it works like that?
Why?
The citizens are not going to put out with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
They are not going to put out with it.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, if the politicians in the West can get away with all this stuff, they would. The citizens are not going to allow it. They say, when you come, there's a baseline. There's a baseline. Ghana,
Is it?
There isn't.
there's no
No.
baseline. There's no baseline. That's why I said 4 more years, you'll be in a kiosk. You see what I'm saying? There's no basic line. So what you think is deplorable is excellence to somebody. So it's very difficult to say, okay, let's move from A to B when the person already think is great. There's nothing wrong with it. So the only way you're going to move from A to B is when you have majority of the people from no matter where you are, no matter your tribal affiliation, no matter your party affiliation, you can say, no, they have to meet this. They have to meet that. But you can't get that because the mind is something has happened to the minds. Okay? Something has happened to the minds, and they're afraid that you're going to get gunned down. You see what I'm saying? But if, this is the way I see it, if we run this thing well, they gun our people down there, their relatives gonna run here. We also gonna chase them here.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? But we can't get the collective because people will go to their tribal politics and they will defend things that should not be defended. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
Tony's tired. I mean, is and this election opened my eyes. Opened my eyes. I learned so much about this country we call Ghana and its people. I learned so much. And I said, wow, this is what it is. So now I get it. So the roads are wonderful. The hospitals are wonderful. Everything's wonderful. The politicians are doing phenomenal well. Okay? There's no problem. They can borrow, they can steal, they can buy SUVs, they can stash out the money outside the country, they can do all that stuff. To some people, it is great because their neighborhood sewer system is fixed. It is great because maybe they get paid a little bit. It is great because people have political connection. It is great because he's my tribe. So I can't challenge him. So the dishonesty is high, is really, really high. Listen, if any of my family members run for politics, I'll vote against except one. Because there's one who's legit. There's only one in there. If any of them run, I'm gonna vote because I know they're gonna go in there and start doing some stuff. But some people, the hatred for the other party is stronger than the love of the nation. You see what I'm saying? That is what is going on. They hate the other party so much, more than the love for the nation. And that is what Monday to Friday exposed me. I said, wow, I may have to recalculate a lot of stuff. I may have to calculate a lot of stuff. And so we have to understand what is going on. And as long as the politicians can play the NDC NPP game, as long as they can play against each other and we get into that, nothing's gonna get done.
Even
Nothing's gonna.
Tony, even sorry to cut you, even like basic housing, and like the airport. I've heard a lot of bad things about the Ghana airport. I heard it leaks when it rains. I heard there's no air condition. I've heard so many terrible things. And the problem is when I try and have these debates with my other African friends, like Nigerians, they'll be like, "Oh no, Ghana's doing great," blah 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 blah. But it's
That's
like, yeah, exactly. Go on, African millennial.
oh no, I'm just agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you. Go on.
Yeah, that's it. It's like, what are you talking about? What, because it looks good on YouTube and because it's like, I mean, come on.
It's a
It's not
drone
that,
footage.
yeah. It's, do you know what? How hard is it to build roads that I don't understand? It's just so confusing to me. It's so confusing to me. You've got all that wealth and resources and gold and this, that, and the other. And do you know what? If Africans had the mindset of the Arabs, like Dubai and those places, I got a friend from Qatar. Everybody owns shares. When you're born, you're given shares in the oil in Qatar. Can you imagine if Africa had that, where the leaders had common sense and love for their people, and they had the vision that they wanted to do well for the country? Can you imagine how great it would be if everyone had shares? Nobody would be running to Europe from the West. Things would
Yeah.
get fixed. But no.
Yeah. But they have the privilege of incompetency because there is no accountability. You see what I'm saying? The reason they can get away of not doing anything substantive um, is because they have a lot of other people say, Minister, you are doing very well. And they get a token. But if it sees all the expectations, it's all the expectations. And because we have none, we talk about but we have none. Because in my lifetime, I wasn't born when Nkrumah was there, but I've seen when Ghana has done well and also regressed, right? But 2020, I think we should be a little bit ahead. We should have gotten at least even the big cities all the infrastructure done. Okay, we should be multiple highways to every region. Okay, but somebody's saying we have done well. Okay, well, we have exceed expectations. So if I go and say, my bro, my sis, we could do a little bit better, it's hard. Okay, because there's no standard. There's no standard that say this is unacceptable for a country. There's none. So depending on where you are, they will take anything. Okay, they will take anything, and when the experience outside, we reinforce it. What do you mean is well? I know. It's like, listen, I think it's a F plus. It's F plus. That's how I grade it.
But
F
you see,
plus.
Tony, this is the problem. You see that there's a guy saying, that it's, every country has its challenges. The airport is a flat. How is it a flagship? Like, you would never get an airport. Heathrow Airport in London will never be leaking. If it started leaking, people would go absolutely ballistic. Do you see what I'm saying? How is it? I don't understand. How's that a flagship? Why should it leak? Why is that okay? Why should our standards be so low? What? Because we're Africans? I don't understand.
There's a question here. There's a question here that is kind of like off topic, right? Off topic. But the comment you just made, kind of like I was going to not, I'm finding it. If you are there, repost it. It's about a question about Wakanda, right? See, here's the problem. This is what the politicians will play with your mind, right? Let's say if Tema Harbor, right, becomes the first class harbor in the world, I don't care. How many people are going to Tema Harbor? How does it benefit the people? I care about the roads. Everybody's going to take the road. Okay, I care about the hospital. Everybody's going to get sick. I care about strong education with competitive curriculum because it's a necessity. So don't build some super highway in one little corner. It's not progress. You want to go build Wakanda? Fix the sewage.
Exactly. That's like
Listen,
it's Ghana
it's
right
not
now.
complicated. This is the you're gonna be sitting in the sky. You be Wakanda. The crooked politicians will be they can afford that. That the average person will not have access to these places. Do something that everybody in the country have access to, and that's what these politicians do. They go put a building here, and it's nice. I don't care if the airport is number one. Most of the Ghanaians will never travel. Some will even die on the road going to the airport. And that is what they're trying to do. They have neglected the basic, and they are trying to do these little things here and there. And we eat off that. Fix the road, fix the sewer system, fix the education, fix the hospitals. Okay, major 100% of the people will use all this, and we have to be careful about that because they are playing yo-yo with our minds, and some of us, they can't do that to us. So when I go to Ghana and I see this elaborate building, it's not development. You see my nice home, it's not development. It's my personal thing. 99.9% of the Ghanaians will not have access to my house. So it doesn't matter if I build a shack somewhere or I build that. They're not going to have access to it. But the road, everybody need access. The sewer system, everybody. And that's what I'm saying is that we need to do the things that are beneficial to almost all of the people. Regardless of, listen, if Accra is developed and the North is not developed, I have a problem with that. Isn't it? Then the northern country should just separate and they become their own country and do their own thing. You see what I'm saying? And so these are the things that we symbolism, you know, over substance. That is black people's problem. I don't care. I want results. So if I open a company, I'm not putting my bodies in there because I'll tell you, if you steal, I'm gonna jail you hard. I'm gonna jail you. If you're competent, you go in there. If you're not competent and you are my father, I'm not giving you a job because I want results. I want the results is more important to me than the friendship. You see what I'm saying? The result is more important to me than the bloodline. But it is hard for us to grasp. It's very, very difficult for us to grasp these things until we all agree that there's certain things independent of whatever party that comes over there. These things must be done. And we are going to push, press these politicians to do something in unison. Other than that, they're gonna play and they are stealing, man. Trust me, they are stealing in the hundreds of millions. I'm telling you, they are stealing very well. But somebody doesn't care because his God is fixed. His sewage is fixed. And so listen, I'm at a point, I'm like, okay, maybe I need to do me, you know. And so that is the problem we need to deal with, is that I don't care about, because if I think about Wakanda concept white people gave us, it's like heaven. I don't really care about heaven. I'm here. I must try to do something here that matters. You see what I'm saying? If the gutter is clogged, I need to do something to fix that. Don't give me imaginary thing. You're gonna build this wonderful city, this high and stuff. It's the crooked politicians that's gonna go over there.
Average
The,
Ghanaian able to go to Wakanda.
and now the market woman will never see it.
Yeah.
But when she get out of work, she gotta take the road. She gets sick, she gotta go to the hospital. Is this complicated? Anyway, we're gonna wrap it up in about 5 minutes. So final thoughts for you two.
Yeah, final thoughts is that I hope that a lot of I'm not giving up on Ghana, but it's really hard because Ghanaians are not understanding that this politician game is just a distraction. It's a just who do you vote for, and that's it. You vote for somebody, and then you don't expect anything from them. What are the guidelines? And even if they don't deliver, they don't care because they know that they're going to be in power for 4 more years. If this president says he's going to build all these roads, and we know not all of those roads that he promised are going to be built, right? Like we already know that. But he's saying all these roads are going to be built. They're not going to be built. And then they're going to be mad and then vote for another president who's going to do the exact same thing. So that's really what's stopping the development. What's stopping the development is the lack of accountability. It's the lack of standards, and we need to really check that. So I hope that we are able to do that.
Well said. The chosen one is still there.
Yes, one, yeah, I have to agree with what the African millennial has said. The other thing as well, Tony, that I heard, I don't know if it's true, but I heard that if you've been in government and you've stolen money, you can't be taken to court for a certain amount of time. I think is it 8 years? I'm not sure. This is what I heard. I don't know how true it is, so don't quote me on it. I think that's absolutely appalling. You could not do that in England. Okay, if you had a corrupt leader in England, that party would be calling for him to stand down, and they would come out publicly in the media and say it, and the whole country would absolutely go berserk over it. Whereas it seems like in Africa there's no accountability. They can just come in, say what they want, do what they want, and the country remains the same. People are still struggling, and people still put up with the suffering that they're going through, missing basic fundamental, things like running water, clean water in your house, a standard of housing, basic roads, basic healthcare, where people are honest. It's just unacceptable. There's no accountability, and there's nobody to run to if there's a problem. It seems like a state of lawlessness in Ghana to me. I love Ghana and I hope it gets better. But I also think people who live on the outside need to also be honest and accept criticism so we can move forward instead of being so defensive about the whole situation. If the thing is ugly, let's call it what it is and move forward. We're not going to move forward if we don't question and challenge what the problems are. We're never going to move forward. You know, it's a disgrace, and I think it is a disgrace that Ghana is where it's at. And I'm sick of hearing the argument. Oh, it's only 60 years old. That's unacceptable to me. It's unacceptable. You can do a lot. You can still do a lot, and that's all I've got to say. Things need to change.
Thank you for your input. So expect more from this platform, come with solution, not highlighting the problems. Okay, here are the solutions that I think. Um, the challenge, with just when people, because people like to use our word solutions. This you can come with solutions, but you meet resistance, and then there'll be no solutions because when we can even deal with the basic things. So here's my solution: whether the Nado maintains power or whether something miraculous happened and Muhammad comes in power. It is the duty of whether you support this party or not. We should all press all the politicians to do something. It has to be in uniform to do it. We got to press them hard to deliver. That's what we need to do. But as long as we go into our corners and accept mediocrity, there's not going to do anything. Because that's the problem. Whenever you're trying to fix something, you're going to meet somebody that says there's nothing wrong with it. And that's why nothing really substantive get done. Because we have a huge segment of the population who the media in Ghana manipulates and the politicians who would be an obstacle to you. So solution, that's that. So if you're MPP is in power now, I don't think the NADO is going to relinquish. Press him the next 4 years. Press him hard. Challenge everything. Accept accountability. The question is, can we do that? And I think if we do that, then we all can maybe able to do something for the country of Ghana. Other than that, our kids will be saying the same story. Okay? So that is my solution. Rise above your political bigotry or your tribal bigotry and think. Be a thinker. And what it is that we should accept as a people. What is it that we should say this is the baseline? And it can't be what we have now. It cannot be what we have now. Okay? We can do better. All right. Thank you a lot for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate your thoughts and everything, taking the time to join us, and appreciate it. This was my take, and so the conversations will keep going. Okay, appreciate all the time. Thanks. Bye.